I've been serving our community in the home repair trade since 2002, and we have field staff on our team with twice that much experience. And there are few things that we hate more than hearing a story about a homeowner who was ripped off by a con artist or a wannabe contractor. Your home is your most valuable asset, and it's important to maintain and care for it and upgrade it with care. That's why hiring trusted contractors is a must. You don't have to look far to find horror stories. There are a lot of ways to vet and screen potential contractors for work on your home, and we've devoted an entire category on our blog titled Tips for Hiring a Contractor, with more than 18 articles to help point you in a direction. And while some of it may be obvious, I want to cover the 4 lesser-known methods that we recommend and 1 bonus method just in case. Of course, you can ask for recommendations on social media, look at reviews, their website, their brochure, and call the names of previous clients that they might give you. But how do you know they aren't being recommended on social media by just their friends and family? How do you know that the phone number they gave you was a legitimate client? Have you clicked on any of the reviews in their profiles to ensure that they are actually local neighbors and not a link farm somewhere overseas? Are they buying a good rating on a pay-to-play site like Angie's List or Home Advisor or Service Magic or the Better Business Bureau or others? It can be really tough to tell who's legitimate. So let's start by eliminating those who aren't registered and aren't insured. Step 1, ask for their Pennsylvania Home Improvement Contractor registration number, which by law has to be printed on their advertising materials, any vehicle lettering, business cards, estimates, and contracts, along with any ads that they post in the various Facebook groups and message boards. It's Pennsylvania law. Verify that registration number by visiting 𝗷𝘂𝘀𝘁.attorneygeneral.gov. We'll put a link in the description below for that. And check for any details of any fraud concerns, previous business entities, etc. 𝗂𝘁 Construction and Renovation's registration number is PA88078. In northern Delaware, specifically Newcastle County, you can visit the land use page and run a contractor license search for the name. In our case, 𝗂𝘁 Built. Again, links in the description. Step 2, ask them to provide you with a certificate of insurance or a COI showing their general liability insurance coverage as well as any workers' compensation they may carry. And call the agent to make sure it's valid. Compare the coverage being carried from the various contractors you may be getting quotes from and look for the higher coverage amounts that might mean more protection for you and your home. The reason you need to call that agent is to make sure they didn't just take a COI that they had and modify it and put some names on it. If you're not sure what you're looking at, take the certificate of insurance to the provider that you use for your home or auto coverage. They'll be happy to explain it to you, or ask us for one of ours and be sure that your contractor has adequate coverage for the scope of work that they're providing for you. Hiring an uninsured or underinsured contractor just because he was cheaper could actually cost you and your homeowner's insurance policy an awful lot of money. Not only are they breaking Pennsylvania law, but they're also putting their customers at risk, and they could be subject to a $25,000 fine for doing so. This is a critical step that many homeowners overlook. If your contractor goes out of business or can't be found and you don't have their insurance information, you could have absolutely zero recourse if there are any workmanship issues down the road. But if you have a COI, at least you can contact the insurance company. Now, if the policy or coverages were just started the day you asked for the certificate, call the agent again at the end of the job before you pay that contractor and make sure that that insurance policy is still in effect. It's not uncommon for scam artists to start a policy, get a certificate of insurance, and then cancel the policy before the payment is due. And we are shocked. I can't begin to tell you how many customers don't ask us for proof of insurance. It's scary knowing how many scammers are out there. Those 2 steps will knock out about half of the people calling themselves contractors on social media. Now, step 3 is to ask to see a detailed home improvement contract. We explained what ours looked like in the video from step 8 of this series. There are some very specific requirements to ensure that the contract complies with the legal requirements of the Pennsylvania Consumer Protection Act 132. If a contractor asks for 50% up front, they're likely in violation of the law, unless bona fide special order materials are involved. Pennsylvania law limits deposits to 1/3 of the contract amount plus bona fide special order materials. Step 4, ask for references and ask to see verifiable reviews and recommendations where you can click profiles and verify that these are actually your neighbors, and maybe even reach out to them and send them a message on Facebook or wherever and ask them about their experience with that contractor. If your contractor can't provide these 4 things, I suggest you keep shopping. Price is not the only factor to consider. Customer communication, quality workmanship, timeliness, cleanliness, as well as respect for you and your home and your family are incredibly important as well. Here's bonus tip number 5. If anything seems fishy, consider searching court records for civil judgment and criminal convictions. We'll give you a link to the Pennsylvania court page as well as the Delaware court page in the description of this video, where you can look up court matters both on the name of the organization, being their company, and also on their individual name. Just fill in the name, choose the case status, and click search. And there's ways to do it where you really only have to go through a couple different variations and you can cover all of your bases in Pennsylvania, and it's pretty straightforward in Delaware as well. So click those links and make sure you do that research as well. Hiring a trusted contractor is a must. We've seen too many families who said they couldn't afford to do it right the first time and wound up getting taken advantage of and had to pay to do it wrong twice. Once you've settled on a contractor you can trust, it's time to sign that contract and return your deposit. We're going to talk about that in step 10 coming up next.